Welcome to the TIMFD podcast. Today is my favorite day is about appreciating every day as it comes, no matter what life throws at us. We hope this podcast speaks to you, and if it does, please like, share, and comment. Now let's find out why today is our favorite day this week.
Well, welcome back to Today is My Favorite Day. I'm Sam McKeown here.
Hey,
I'm David Towner, and we're here with Barbie Viton,
Yay.
our special guest today, and we have a question for her.
And what is the question?
The question is, how did you deal with the stress that comes with the imposter syndrome that you went through?
Well, first of all, what is imposter syndrome?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
For me, imposter syndrome is trying to be someone that you're not called to be, like that you're not in that moment, like you're trying to embody something that's
It's just not you.
It's not you.
You're trying to be the people on Instagram that have everything perfect and everything's down. We have everything, wonderful. By the way, pastors struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have ran into I don't know how many pastors that come to me and go, I wish I could be in your church. And I go, why? And they go, because you could just be you. Mm-hmm. And I went, wow, that's scary to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you, the imposter syndrome, for one, we wanted to bring her on because you're in coaching.
Yes.
And in fitness and that kind of thing. And that's Sam's kind of world. He's in that coaching world.
Yes.
And so for you, you went through some pretty tough times. So could you tell us your biggest stress? And then we'll come back to imposter syndrome.
Yes. So my biggest stress in life has been postpartum with my third child.
Okay. Can you explain postpartum? So I don't know what that is.
Yes. Postpartum is basically after you have a child for 9 months, all the hormones, your body's regulating. A woman's body is regulating and going back to normal, how it's supposed to be. Okay. And in that moment, or, some women have a great time with their postpartum.
I know ladies that had great.
They bounce back. Yeah. That's the term that's used through society. It's bouncing back.
Okay.
And some women go through baby blues. They're sad or, they go through emotions. And that's when anxiety creeps in and, postpartum depression can happen as well. And for me, it was a mix of everything, especially postpartum with my third child. I had, prior to that pregnancy, had lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
So
awesome.
Then all of a sudden, I am.
I
put on the weight.
The pregnancy.
And then I also put on, my business was expanding. So we put on more pressure on our business.
So tell me your business.
So my business, I'm in the wellness industry. Okay. So I coach women worldwide.
That's awesome.
Over 90 countries. And I help them bounce back.
There you go.
Okay. Into their confidence and just to have them, lose the weight that they've been struggling over the years. Okay. And with this business, we also have the opportunity to open up protein shops and open it to the community. So that is something that we did.
Okay.
And in that moment, there was the stress of postpartum. There was the stress of business. There was the stress of family.
Yeah. Kids and that husband is always an interesting thing, right?
Just figuring everything
We are
out.
hard to work with sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that stress.
Before we forget to ask, what is the name of your business?
Yes. So, the company?
Yours. Your personal.
So it's just my name. So it's just Barbie Viton Coaching.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Barbie Viton Coaching.
Yes.
You went through postpartum, and the postpartum. Would you think that you lost that 100 pounds? You're feeling great about yourself, feeling awesome. Get pregnant, have a child. Now you put the weight back on because almost everyone does. My wife, after her pregnancy with Rebecca, gained 5 pounds. That was it. And that weight was off in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But she was teaching aerobics all the way up to almost when I think the last month.
Yeah.
And women hated her. I mean, because, they go, why? Yeah. Why can't I do that? Right. And for you being a fitness person, and then suddenly the weight's back on, how depressing was that?
Oh, it was so hard.
It had to be hard.
Postpartum with my son.
Yeah.
I didn't go through anything that I went through with my daughter, but in that postpartum journey, I was the woman that bounced back and lost some. Awesome. I lost 100 pounds postpartum with my son.
Cool.
And so being postpartum with my daughter, not losing that weight rapidly, like people expected me to, took a toll on me, like completely, where I was like, what's going on? Like,
why is it not happening?
I was doing everything. I was like, I'm doing everything. But then also like things happen in the outside world.
Yes.
Like, you know, aside from being a woman and a mom and just like trying to have everything under control and make it seem like everything's under control, you know, the world and the stresses from everything else takes
you had
a toll.
COVID and everything else going on.
It was everything.
That was tough. That was a tough time.
It was everything. And so I didn't have that postpartum with my son, and experiencing that with my daughter, I didn't give myself grace.
I was going to say, you're going to be a better coach because it's when people have the almost like the perfect comeback, you know, the bounce back, like you had the perfect bounce back, 100 pounds off. Look at me, I'm looking awesome, that kind of thing. And then the next time, everybody's expecting you to do the same thing, and then when it doesn't happen and you don't bounce back, you're actually now a normal human being rather than super person. Yeah. Which actually I think in the long run will make you a better coach because you'll have more grace for other people.
Yeah. This journey has been it's just been very humbling.
Yeah.
I always say that God never gave me the perfect abs and everything like that because who knows what my ego would have been like. You know what I mean?
Get that.
Yeah, get that.
And then postpartum with my son, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I did this. And something that I never did was, you know, oh no.
What?
I was going to cry. But
That's
anyways,
okay.
I'm
Go ahead.
trying to.
Come on.
So I never gave God the thanks.
The credit?
The credit.
Yeah, give him his
Ever.
due. Yeah, I understand
My
that.
business was skyrocketing. I
Look what
remember
I've
that. I'm like, I did that. I qualified for this. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. Sometimes I sit here and I think about my postpartum journey, and I can talk about all the stresses and all the things that happen. But in reality, I now thank God that this happened this. Yeah. Because now I understand.
Yeah. You understand other people. Yes.
And I understand, like, it's just different. It's completely different. Like, I feel like he, like, ripped everything away to show me, like, hey, like, it's me. Yeah. And we're going to do this together.
Yeah. You know, James 4:10 that we use a lot in Celebrate Recovery that, you know, I've been in forever. 14 years now, and I enjoy it and I love it because I've been able to work on myself kind of in the same place that you've been. I've given no one credit other than me, kind of a deal. That never works. Humble yourself before the Lord and he will lift you up. And I went, okay, James 4:10, I can handle that lifting up part of it. I just want God to take control of this thing. Right. And so for you in your business setting, having that humbling experience.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, Sam went through that. So can you kind of explain that real quick? Because he's a businessman, he understands this, and you can kind of hear where he went too.
We had a business getting taken down by the government. The business had been in place for over 11 years. My wife and I put everything we had into it, all of our retirement, money we made from the house, all of our savings and everything. A lot of other people did too. Thousands of people. The government came in and said, nope, and shut it down. And how sneaky they were is they waited until the company transferred the money to pay commissions. And before they paid the commissions, the government shut down the bank accounts, took all the money.
So for him, he was devastated.
Still recovering.
Still recovering. Yeah. But those kind of things, I believe God uses everything. And I don't want to make it sound so cliche.
Absolutely.
Because it can come across cliche. That God uses all of our hurts. Yep. He never wastes them. And I honestly, I'm still trying to work through you're still trying to work through how's God going to use this big loss? How's God going to use my struggle with this last pregnancy? How's God going to use the loss of our daughter?
Right.
How's he going to use that? He's going to do it.
Oh yeah.
But he's going to do it in a way when we're ready to.
We're ready to, and we may not even see it coming.
Yeah.
So at what point in time in your journey did you get over the imposter syndrome? Because that's hard to get over for a lot of people.
And still probably battling all of us.
Yeah, we all do to a certain extent.
Yeah. So I actually remember two instances now looking back. And I remember one day I was rocking my daughter. I think she was like 5 months. And I was looking on social media because everybody's on social media. Everybody scrolls and everybody compares.
Everybody's who's who in social media.
Oh, yeah. And so I was scrolling and I came across what now, honestly, I see her instead of like, I don't know, like I see her as a silent mentor when it comes to the fitness world, right? And I came across her page and she was on there and she was talking about her abs and this and that. And she's a coach herself. So I'm like, I just looked at it and I blocked her. I was like, and I looked over at John. I was like, you know what? I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, you know what? I need to find something else. I'm not that. I'm trying, and that will never be me.
And it's a good thing you're not.
And it's a good thing I'm not.
It's a good thing you're not.
But at the same time, I'm like, I look back and I'm like, you know, it's okay that I'm not.
Yes.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
And obviously now I unblock her because now you understand. I understand her and how she was trying to target other women, but maybe I wasn't ready to hear that message yet. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I remember the second instance where I was getting out of that was on my daughter's 12th birthday. It was a big birthday. I felt, okay. But I remember a picture was taken of me and I didn't recognize myself. And I was like, I'm trying so hard to be something, and I'm telling people that I'm being healthy and that I'm eating healthy, that I got this all under control, but look at me. What's going on? I told myself, and it's April 2nd, 2022. I will never forget. I took my before pictures, to just have as a memory. And I said, I'm done. I'm done. I weighed more than postpartum. And here I am sitting telling these women when I'm crumbling inside that I can uplift them. I can't. And that's why God wasn't blessing me to help them. My business was on the floor because I wasn't okay inside. I didn't work on myself and I wasn't aligning with what I was saying. And it was a hard reality, yes, it is. To admit. And that's something for me. Since I was young, I was always trying to be perfect for my family. And I never admitted my wrongs. And now as an adult, I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm admitting everything because
it's healthy.
It's okay.
It's scripturally sound. Actually, we become healthier when we do that. I know for me, when I was first in ministry, for some reason, I felt like I had to be perfect. And everything around me in my family had to be perfect. And their kids will never be perfect.
Life, especially pastors.
Yeah, exactly. And life isn't perfect. In 2001, 2002, we had churches calling me up to say, come and talk about parenting, marriage. We love your family. It's awesome. At that time, Shayna was, she walked in a room and everybody go, who's that? She's a beautiful volleyball player, basketball player. Rebecca was learning like crazy. She was way ahead on the spectrum of reading and doing all that stuff. And honestly, I patted myself in the back and was going, you know what? We're pretty darn good. And within just a couple of years, that crumbled. And the whole imposter, we were never perfect. No one is. So when I see Mr. and Mrs. Perfect come into the church, if I see them, I just go, ooh, they're going to be in my office eventually. Because they just have this facade that everything's wonderful. And none of us have that. So our goal here at this church, and for your business and your business, is for us to get rid of not being the imposters, being who we are and being okay in our skin and being able to help people that are in the same place we're at, and maybe we're one step ahead of them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So for you on the fitness end of things, nutrition end of things, the honesty of being able to go, I do at the church. I just go, hey, I had a bad week, man. I had a bad week. I was not happy with Tanya. She and I, got in an argument. I'm never a yeller and she isn't either, but we get in arguments and I tell the church. And some people just go, I had one guy go, I can't be here. You're all screwed up. I go, yeah, you are too.
We all are.
But at least I'm honest enough to tell you.
Right.
And so that gives you some freedom.
I think I set myself free from a cage that I was in, thinking that I had to be everything put together. And now I tell our followers, our clients on social media, in person, whoever, it's okay to not be okay.
That's right.
It's okay to not be okay, as long as you know that, but you're working on yourself every single day to become better.
What can we do?
What can we do
today?
Right? Exactly.
Today.
What can we do? How can I get out of this stress? How can I get out of this anxiety?
Get out of your bed.
Yeah.
Make your bed.
It's take action. Do something.
Drink some water.
Yes.
The simple steps. For me, it's always about getting up, drinking that water, go down, read my Bible. Imperfect as I am, sometimes I just go, I didn't get anything out of this, and that's okay to be able to go, God, I just didn't get anything out of this. And then spend some time with Tanya. We have this little DTR thing we do. Get our workouts in. I was supposed to go this morning. Didn't go. I got up and I just went, you know what? No, I'm just going to hang out with Tanya. And she just said, David, we'll get 2 more workouts in the next 2 days. Don't worry about it. I went, okay. But I give myself grace.
Yes.
Years ago, Barbie, no way would I give myself grace and anyone else. If you didn't follow my way of doing these things, get up at this time, do this, do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Way or the highway.
Yeah. It doesn't work
so
for myself or anybody else.
Yeah.
With your business, how do you integrate your faith into your business?
So now, I have always sprinkled my faith into my business, even though sometimes, like, whenever you start a business, there are people that tell you, don't talk about this, this, and this.
Yes, always.
Yeah. And I remember
people say that in the church, and I just laugh and go, nope.
Yeah. I remember one time when John and I got baptized, I posted it. Yeah. And I was so proud of that moment. And I got that feedback. And I was like, no, it's going to stay right there.
Right.
I'm going to tell people,
That's part of my life. Doesn't have to be yours, but it's part of my life.
And with postpartum anxiety, I am an anxious eater.
Okay. Yep. That would make sense.
I eat when I'm anxious and I just, till like, there's no stopping.
What is your go-to food?
Anything salty, chips.
Chips right here, man. Chips and popcorn for me.
Like you will see me, like John knows, my husband knows, when I'm anxious or something, he's like, stop. Like, don't do it.
John doing that, just going.
Yeah, just stop. Don't do that. And
That's funny.
I have learned now that all those little triggers or whatever is triggering me, like I'm surrendering it to God. So whenever I have an anxious moment now, instead of going and having a binge moment where I'm going to feel horrible later and trickle down into a spiral and go into my hiding, I'm like, okay, what is stressing me? What is what has me anxious right now? Can I fix it? Yeah. If I can't fix it, God, it's on you. Like, you're bigger than me. Yeah. Like,
fix my eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith.
That's it.
Gaze
I'm
at
like,
him.
It's not crazy. I always say that's my word. It's crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's just having faith. And a lot of people call me delusional now. Like, you're delulu. You're in this delulu moment. I'm not delusional. The world could be crumbling down around me, but I know God's got me.
Yeah. Well, and the whole idea of the Psalm 46:10 that we were talking about, which is be still and know that He is God.
Yes.
He says, be still and know that I am God. Yep. What do you do? Because you're kind of a high energy person. So, and then Sam, what do you do? What do you guys do to slow down? What do you do anything, or is it very difficult and it's hard to slow down? What do you do to try to kind of go, okay, I'm going to mellow myself out in this moment? It's hard.
Breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Breathe. I take a deep breath.
Yep.
And I count. Yep. And I try to align myself.
That's right.
Yep.
And I talk to God. God is my best friend.
That's right.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I talk to him throughout the day. John's like, who are you talking? God.
Yeah.
The other day I went to a personal training class and I just stopped because I was gone. Yeah. Like, what are you doing, Barbie? Praying.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm praying.
There's a very famous theologian that he calls it whisper prayers from long, long ago in the ancient days. He called them whisper prayers. He whispered to God throughout the day. And I took that to heart and just went, when I'm in a stressful place, I need to slow down, breathe. Because I learned that in athletics. We talked about this on our last podcast with Dr. Sosa, but just to slow down, or 2 podcasts ago, just to slow down and just go, hold on.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I use a verse and I just speak that out as I'm breathing, and it gets me in a good place. What do you do?
I pretty much the same thing. I do the breathe, but I also make time to take 5 or 10 minutes and say, it's okay to go sit in the chair, commune with God, and do nothing.
Oh, okay.
And so it's one of those, so you breathe, you do all that kind of stuff. And so what I find with me is that it gets me refreshed. If I'm working on a project, it's don't think about it. Just get in a place where, not that the mind's empty, but that it's not stressing and talking over things. I get more work done.
Right. So do you do that with your coaching? Do you tell people
absolutely
to slow, especially because you works with business people, so that you tell them to slow it down, and
it's funny. You get some of these high energy businesses say, "Well, I can't." So okay, you're gonna have a heart attack.
I had to learn to do that.
You're gonna die. You want to do that. You're having problems at home. You're doing that because when when you're coaching, know all about them.
Oh yes,
right. And so and you have to call them out.
Yep.
Right. And if you don't call them out, when they do have that heart attack, you're like, I told you so.
Absolutely. Right? Or something that I always do with my clients, I'm like, how's your heart? Check your heart.
That's a great heart check. Yeah. Yep. We do that in CR. It's called a heart check, which is, are you hurting? Are you exhausted, angry, resentful, tense? And look at that. CR, Celebrate Recovery, for those who don't know. I don't lead it. My wife does with a guy named Digger, and I just go to it. But the idea of a heart check, checking that out. I think that came from actually Saddleback. Rick Warren actually wrote that out, and I've used it for years. So for you guys, getting slow down. What triggers both of you to stress out? What is it that gets you to go from I'm in a bad place, right? Like you said, eating and that kind of stuff. What would that be?
Oh man,
what would cause that? And Sam, think about that. What would cause that with you? It's hard, huh?
It is. I mean,
could it be anything? Could it be anything?
As a business owner, as a mom, it's like different areas that could stress us out.
So let's go to the business. What would get you to go, kind of that? Is it not having the clients or suddenly?
Right, numbers.
Yeah, numbers. Let's be honest there.
It is. It's numbers.
About the numbers. Business is about making money, right? And making a difference.
Yes.
The hope is you can make a difference while you make money. Right. What about you?
It's the same thing. It's numbers. And so if I can't make a difference, why am I working with the client?
Right.
And if I look at the client as a dollar sign, I need to say, hey, we can't do this. I have somebody else that you can work with. Yeah. Right. And you get to that point, especially when the numbers aren't there. And so that's when you have to take a step back. And I have a couple of coaches that I call. Dr. Rick Ruperto is one. I'm putting a plug in for him because he's just awesome. But I have to get centered.
Yeah.
It is not about the money. And to say that, say that I'm on top of the world with the money it would be a lie. But it has to be about what are you doing for the client? Yeah.
So something that was said, so I'm part of We Do Transformations is something that we do. And
that's with Katya and Daniel, right? Okay, got it.
So it's worldwide now. We do transformations. Awesome. We help others transform their lives. And for me, my personal business, I help women transform their lives emotionally, physically, and however, financially, mentally, and now spiritually. And something that was said at one of our trainings was, turning it from transactional to transformational.
Absolutely.
And that just shifted me. I get goosebumps. That shifted my perception of everything. And that goes back to where I was an imposter.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Okay. And I was looking
transaction.
That's it. And now in this journey in my business and personal and everything, it's more of really working with individuals. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of work and words that you put into these people, because these people are coming to us for a transformation. They're desperate, they're tired, they need something. These women need something where I was at.
Right, exactly.
And now I'm like, okay, I get you. And that's what I needed.
Yeah, right.
I get it. Yeah. So let's work towards it.
Yeah. And that's, I think, is awesome. I think that's awesome.
And we're about out of time here. Barbie, what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you or to reach you? Is it Instagram?
Yes, Instagram.
And the Instagram handle is?
It's at Barbie_Viton, BARBIE.
Yeah, and we'll put that all in the show notes.
Yes.
Okay. And you can go find Barbie there. This has been Sam McKeown with David Towner.
She understands.
And Barbie Viton. Live intentionally, be very blessed. We'll see you on the next time.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to TIMFD. Today is my favorite day. Views, comments, and opinions are those of the host and guest alone, and Dave and Sam are solely responsible for the content of this podcast. TIMFD is produced and directed by Alex Korn. Music is composed and performed by Chuck Ball. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, live intentionally, and be very blessed.